In this video, we will graph absolute value inequalities. So here I have my absolute value equation in standard form. Okay, so that's going to be my beginning. I'll always start out by finding the vertex. Remember, the vertex is h, k. All right, here I don't have h, so that means h is 0, k is right there, 4. Okay, so that's my vertex. I know for a fact my starting point will be right there. So 0 for x, 4 for y. All right, now I know the absolute value function makes the v shape. I also know the leading coefficient is negative, so it's going to be an upside down v. So it's going to be like this. Okay, now greater than means dotted. It's not going to be a solid line, and I will have to shade above. So greater than means dotted and shade above. But I don't know what any of those points are. Let's go ahead and punch that beautiful function in the calculator. The way you do this, you go negative. You're going to put in the fraction. So alpha, that's the green button. Alpha, y equals, enter. So 5 over 6. Now the absolute value, you go second, 0. That's one way to do it, 0. And notice that it comes up as abs for absolute value. Okay? X, and then plus 4. Plus 4 must be outside the absolute value brackets right there. Okay, if you want to really see what it looks like, it will graph the equation for you. Okay, so my vertex is the right point, but how do I know where to find the next point over? Well, go to the table and find a good looking point that you can plot. Well, 0, 4 is the vertex. Let's see if right here. I have a whole number right there. So 6, negative 1, and that's going to be the point I'm going to graph. 6, negative 1 is right there. And I know if I have 6, negative 1, I can just mirror that. So the other one will be negative 6, negative 1. Okay, that will give me my V shape right there. So dotted, and we will shade above. Number 2. Ooh, this one is not y by itself. So, but we're smart. We can solve for y. So I have negative 4, y is less than 16 absolute value of x. I have to isolate y, but this negative 4 is in my way. So you divide both sides by negative 4, and you know this. Now, because every time I multiply or divide by a negative, I have to switch the inequality sign. So from a negative, that's going to be not negative. Less than, that's going to be greater than. So y is greater than negative 4 absolute value of x. Okay, this one, easy money. Vertex is right there at 0, 0. Because h, I don't have anything, so it's 0. K, I don't have anything, also 0. Okay, beautiful. That's my starting point right there. And then greater than, you already know it's a V shape. And because A is negative, it's going to be upside down just like that. And because it's greater than, so greater than, it's going to be dotted. And you're going to shade above again. But you need to make sure that you get the right points there. So handy dandy calculator. Negative 4, absolute value of x. You know your vertex is right there at 0, 0. You can just easily choose the next point over. 1, negative 4, right there. So 1, negative 4, and then you reflect that, -1, -4. Okay, we will shade above. It doesn't look pretty, but on your paper, make sure you make it pretty. My highlighter is dying. It's okay. You get the idea. 2 more. Ooh, how we're going to do this? So this one, you're going to have to do some more work than the others because you have a lot of mumbo jumbo here. You will never believe what I'm going to say. You have to factor. Sorry. Okay, so y is less than or equal to absolute value of all that stuff. Between -4 and 4, I will go ahead and factor out -4. So factor out -4, I have x minus 1. Okay? Now you're going to split that up into absolute value. So I have the absolute value of 4 and also the absolute value of x minus 1. Now, you have to evaluate the absolute value of -4. When you take the absolute value of -4, you just get 4. If you don't believe me, that's fine. You shouldn't. You go to the calculator, absolute value of -4, it will give you 4. Okay, so I have y is less than or equal 4, absolute value of x minus 1. Okay, now I have something for me to start out with. So vertex, h and k. H is 1, k is 0. Right there. I know the leading coefficient is positive, so it's going to be a regular v. And because it's less than or equal, it's going to be solid, and we're going to shade below. Okay, so go ahead and go to y equals 4 absolute value of x minus 1. I have the vertex right there, 0, 4. Just kidding. 1, 0. And then we're going to plot the next point over. 2, 4. If you want to graph 3, 8, more power to you. It doesn't matter. Okay, as long as you reflect that point, because you have to make that V-shaped graph right there. Okay, so I will just do V4, 2, 4. And I reflect that. Solid line. And we will shade below. Last one. Okay. You know at this point you need to isolate y. So I have -2y minus 12 is less than -2 absolute value of 5x. So add 12 to both sides. Notice that this 12 right here, I didn't put under these guys because they're not like terms, so they cannot go together. So this is 0. I have -2y is less than -2 absolute value of 5x plus 12. Now, isolating y, divide everybody by -2. Everybody by -2. Because this is negative, the inequality sign will switch. So I have y is greater than -2 divided by -2 is 1. Lucky us, so I don't have to do it. Let's put a 1 right there just because. Now, you will not divide what's in the absolute value. You leave that alone because this one is protected. 12 divided by negative 2 is negative 6. Okay, now you think you're done, but you're not. Like we did in example 3, you have to split that in two absolute value functions, not functions, in two absolute value. So you have the y is greater than absolute value of 5, absolute value of x, minus 6. You evaluate the absolute value of 5, you have just 5. When in doubt, put the absolute value of 5 in the calculator. It will bring you 5. Okay, now I'm ready to start. So your vertex is 0, negative 6, because h is 0, k is negative 6. So go ahead and plot that 0, negative 6. Because it's greater than, it is going to be dotted, and I will shade above. And the leading coefficient is positive, so it's going to be just a regular V shape. Go to your y equals. We will put this one in, 5, absolute value of x, minus 6. So I have 0, negative 6. And then the next point will be 1, negative 1. 1, negative 1. So dotted line. And notice that if you forget to reflect that point, it's going to be just a regular line. And that is the wrong function here. If you're graphing absolute value, it has to look like the V. Okay? Above is right here. And that's where you shade. That looks pretty. The end.